Parents, how did it feel when your child turned into a walking disaster? My straight A daughter Chloe went from honor roll to teen pregnancy in 6 months, all because she wanted to be cool. Freshman year, she was my perfect kid. Student council president, debate team captain, maintaining a flawless 4.0 GPA without breaking a sweat. Her bedroom was meticulously organized with color-coded binders for each subject. Homework always completed 3 days early, and she genuinely looked forward to our weekly family game nights. I honestly thought I'd won the parenting lottery. Everything changed when she started hanging with the popular crowd during second semester, a tight-knit group of wealthy seniors who threw legendary house parties every weekend and treated the entire school like their personal playground. These weren't just typical cool kids, they were the completely untouchable ones. Designer bags worth more than my mortgage, parents who bought them brand new cars for birthdays, and they faced zero consequences for their increasingly reckless actions. Initially, the changes seemed completely harmless and age-appropriate. She wanted trendy clothes from expensive boutiques instead of her usual Target basics, started spending hours watching makeup tutorials on YouTube, and began asking for professional highlights at an upscale salon. Her previously perfect grades dropped from straight A's to mostly solid B's, but I genuinely figured it was just normal adjustment stress from high school academics. The first major red flag should have been the increasingly elaborate lies she told. Important study group meeting at the library that was actually wild house parties in massive McMansions while wealthy parents traveled for business. Extended debate team practice sessions that were really hanging out at the shopping mall with college-age guys who had dropped out of community college. I only discovered the truth when several concerned parents started calling me with worried questions about what our daughters were doing together. Her entire personality transformed completely overnight. My previously responsible, thoughtful daughter became dangerously reckless and impulsive in every decision. She'd carefully sneak out through her bedroom window at midnight, stumble home at dawn reeking of cheap beer mixed with expensive designer perfume, and look me directly in the eyes while lying effortlessly about where she'd spent her entire night. The popular girls had systematically created this incredibly toxic social culture, where being experienced was supposedly the only way to prove your maturity to the group. They actively convinced younger girls that earning good grades was strictly for social rejects, that following parental rules meant you were boring, and that concerned parents simply couldn't understand what real life was supposed to look like. These older girls would openly mock the pathetic baby freshmen who still cared about homework assignments and respecting curfew times. Chloe started parroting their cruel language, calling me controlling when I asked reasonable questions, dramatically rolling her eyes whenever I mentioned her rapidly plummeting test scores. By spring semester, she was actively failing 3 major classes and skipping entire school days regularly. I'd receive automated robocalls from the attendance office while she was supposedly in advanced placement history class. The same teachers who had previously written glowing recommendation letters were now sending concerned emails about missing assignments and her sleeping through lessons. The final straw was catching her secretly sneaking boys into our house during my work hours. These weren't innocent teenage classmates. They were 18 and 19-year-old men with their own cars and jobs, predatory adults who clearly saw my vulnerable 15-year-old daughter as nothing more than an easy target. Then came the unmistakable morning sickness she desperately tried to hide, the oversized baggy sweatshirts during summer heat, the unpredictable emotional breakdowns triggered by nothing that seemed far beyond typical teenage mood swings. When that pregnancy test came back positive, she collapsed in my arms, sobbing like the innocent little girl she still was underneath all that fake sophistication. "They kept saying this was what real grown-ups did, Mom," she whispered through tears. "They said I was being a baby if I didn't want to do it. I just wanted them to think I was cool enough to hang around with them." That's when the devastating truth hit me. Those friends hadn't just influenced my daughter's life. They had systematically groomed her, stolen her childhood, and left our family picking up the shattered pieces.